people automatically assume he had to have done something. Because you hear how everybody would, you get this role in Hollywood, you had to have done something. So now all of a sudden, my podcast is moving up the ranks.
What you do?
So people automatically assume, man, look here. Man, I don't play like that. I don't. I've never been propositioned. I've never been approached.
Real stable at home situation to understand. I got meetings, I got study, I got to train the way I eat, the way I sleep. I have to understand that. Now, if he's willing to pay that price, there's a price to be paid for greatness. There's a price to be paid for success. And if you're not willing to pay that price, you don't deserve to be successful. You don't deserve to be great. So the question that Cam is going to have to himself, and only he can answer, not his dad, not his mom, not his handlers, only Cam.
Is that for some reason people come to me and I don't look at them with judgy eyes. I have no predetermined notion or preconceived notions, and they open up to me.
Right.
That's what they're upset about. Because if you look at a lot of these people that's been on other podcasts, they don't do the views that they do when they come on.
Girl, let me tell you about the tea that's spilling all over Hollywood right now. Katt Williams, you know, that pint-sized comedian with the big mouth. I just did something that's got everyone talking, and it's all about Shannon Sharpe, football legend turned talk show host. Now you might be thinking, what's the connection? Well, Chilio, that's where things get juicy. See, Shannon Sharpe got himself into some hot water recently. The streets are saying he got canceled, but we don't know all the details yet. But here's the kicker. Katt Williams, of all people, is stepping up to defend him. You believe it, it's like who saw that coming? This whole situation is shaking up Tinseltown, and everyone's wondering what it means for cancel culture. Is Katt about to change the game? Are we seeing a new alliance forming the drama? And we're here for it, girl.
For Comedy Hype News, I'm John Abba. As a Black reporter, am I not allowed to interview Black guests who share their experiences with other Black talents, or even criticize Black talent? Are we wrong for the job for sharing the story despite our counterparts like CNN, MSNBC, who understand the position of being a platform? Now, you might hear Trump speak out about certain Democrats, and the following day you might hear those same Democrats respond, and no one decides to boycott CNN by simply being a platform. You see, this week, while appearing as a guest on Cam Newton's Funky Friday podcast, Shannon Sharpe would talk about his infamous Katt Williams interview, which is now the most viewed podcast interview in YouTube history, sitting at just over 70 million viewers. Now, during the conversation, Sharpe told Newton that,
again, because Katt Williams said this is gonna break the internet or something like that, he said, and Shannon didn't believe it. He was kind of shocked, like, what, you think so? I don't think so. Yeah, took over 2024. Literally was like a ripple effect for a lot of things that are going on now.
Katt predicted the interview would catapult Sharpe onto a higher level. In addition to predicting the success of the interview, Katt would also issue a warning to Sharpe, saying that it will now be harder to secure certain guests for Club Shay Shay.
He said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said, they're gonna come and they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get that they're not gonna come now. That's absolutely has happened. They were so excited. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. A day later, they can't do it. And then no call, they won't follow, so forth and so on.
Dang.
Sharpe said he understood what comes with getting an interview of that magnitude, but he did not expect all the negativity.
I guess, you know, the whole thing about Katt exposing the truth, and a lot of people were probably tied into that truth he was talking about, you know, so, hey, he called it. Katt a real one. You got to weed all the fake ones out of there. So, hey, Shannon thought people were rocking with him, and I guess not.
That was attached. Sharpe will go on and mention that some of his industry peers that he was cordial with also took shots at him publicly due to the success of the interview. Okay, let's go back to the interview. If you remember, Steve Harvey, who was roasted by Katt Williams in the Shannon Sharpe interview, and D.L. Hughley, who was shown respect by Katt in that same interview, were two comedians who publicly shamed Shannon Sharpe for participating in a negative interview. Hughley would even go as far as to call Sharpe Wendy Williams with muscles due to the drama-filled conversation he was beginning to host on his podcast. Sharpe would say if Katt Williams was mic'd up from the moment he stepped out the car until he sat down, the interview would have reached 100 million viewers. Sharpe also revealed that he had been trying to book Katt for an interview for a year before he finally accepted. It wasn't until Sharpe bumped into a woman who later revealed herself to be Katt's new tour manager that he was able to get Katt on his podcast a week later. What Shannon Sharpe is experiencing has...
Why do y'all think that is? I mean, I know people be extremely busy and stuff, but like, besides that, because I think it'd be like more to it. I just don't know what, like, why people don't. Is it, do they feel like some of the questions? Because you can sit down and talk about like what you don't want to talk about. And if they try to ask a question or something, you don't necessarily have to answer. So, because trying to get somebody for a whole year, man, that's a long time.
I won't believe the mess Shannon Sharpe got himself into. The streets are talking, and honey, they're saying our boy Shannon stepped in it big time, but what really went down? Let me spill all the tea. So picture this: Shannon's doing his thing, living his best life, when bam, cancel culture comes knocking at his door now. You might be thinking, what did he do, Chili? That's the million-dollar question everyone's asking on the street. Shannon said something on his show that rubbed people the wrong way. You know how it is these days, one wrong word, and suddenly your public enemy number one, the internet, went wild. And before you knew it, cancel Shannon Sharpe was trending faster than a Kardashian scandal. But here's the thing, nobody seems to know exactly what he said. It's like playing a game of telephone where everyone's heard something different. Some folks are saying he dissed a fellow athlete. Others swear he made an inappropriate joke. The tea is scalding hot, but it's all over the place now. Know how these things go. The media caught wind of it, and suddenly Shannon's face was plastered all over the news. Twitter was blowing up. Instagram was on fire, and even TikTok got on the action. It was like watching a car crash. Slow motion, you couldn't look away, even if you wanted to.
Bumped into a woman who later revealed herself to be Katt's new tour manager that he was able to get Katt on his podcast a week later. What Shannon Sharpe is experiencing has felt to be something we've experienced over the last years as a platform dedicated to Black comedy. In all of my experience of doing this, comedian Earthquake to me appeared to have gotten it right. Years ago, I interviewed his ex-wife in hopes to give a more in-depth look at his life, along with something that would catch viewers' attention, and it may have looked like an attempt to make Earthquake look bad. Now, outside of that speculation, we knew the honor system within reporting stories like this is that you always open the door for the other person to respond, and we did. And instead of denying to speak to us, Earthquake respectfully accepted the interview and voiced his concerns with the interview during his interview with us. That was it. Simply how a platform should be used. Both sides are able to share their point of view, nothing personal, we understood our roles, and on to the next story. And relatively 3 years later, I would join Earthquake in Los Angeles at a dinner table to help celebrate his comedy special with Netflix and Dave Chappelle. So to the Black entertainers who choose to take things so personally when it comes to reporting on their lives as public figures, please understand that we are simply here to tell the story. You have to let us do our job. You see, when CNN decided to interview Osama bin Laden in 1997 after he would publicly declare jihad against the United States of America, did people stop watching or interviewing with CNN? D.L. Hughley has been on CNN many of times over the years. In fact, in 2008, he would even have his own show with the network called D.L. Hughley Breaks the News. So DL, a terrorist is more excusable than a comedian who decides to air out a few fellow comedians?
Yeah, that ain't gonna lie, that's pretty crazy. Ain't gonna lie, that's pretty crazy. Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. He's saying he's giving a platform for people to come there and tell the truth, you know, like, and if somebody got a problem with it, they can come on there too. You know, hell, both of y'all come on at the same time.
It's hypocritical. My perspective is some of us feel conflicted when they see others doing good, especially if they didn't need our help to get there. At the end of the day, you not supporting these outlets and running to white outlets only exposes your inferiority complex and needing of white society to co-sign you to make you feel validated. Good boy. Is that what you want to hear? Now, Black talent needs Black media, and Black media needs Black talent. And the more we collaborate with each other, the stronger we can both grow and learn along the way. D.L. Hughley, the door continues to be open for you to come on our platform to share your perspective and even respond to my position. This is how true platforms work. So what do you guys think about Shannon Sharpe's reveal that it's harder to get guests to come on his podcast after his Katt Williams interview? Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Plus, stay up to date for the latest news in comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel and follow Comedy Hype across all social media. And plus, check out hypersclub.com for some cool memberships and original content. For Comedy Hype News, I'm John Abba.
So, man, that's crazy. Dude getting backlash because of the truth came out. You know, my whole thing is this. You know, Shannon Sharpe may not get the people that he may want to be on the show, but he'll probably still get the people he need to be on there. You know, because I feel like a lot of people may come on there. Like, I know Ray J was on there, and I seen like a clip. It was so weird. Like, well, it's like you could tell that he was media trained because he was ducking and dodging questions. I mean, ducking and dodging. But like, Katt Williams said there'll be no DL Hughley slander. So he didn't even say nothing about DL. But like, DL Hughley is always on. I know he's been on a few times, been on DJ Vlad's show or podcast or whatever. And I know it was some stuff going on with DJ Vlad, so I don't know. But that CNN clip was pretty crazy. Wow. I don't know, man. It's like, you know, this brother's been grinding on to get to I think Shannon Sharpe was just grinding. I don't even think he was trying to like get on top. He was just trying to get into space and, you know, show that he's part of the culture, because he's a football player, you know, Hall of Famer, champion, all that stuff, you know. But I mean, he's talking about music, he's talking about comedy, all this stuff, man. So I don't know, man. I just feel like, you know, he does a really good job of letting people talk, has great questions, and, you know, I just feel like a lot of people are being hypocritical, you know. Because, like I said, Katt came over there, said what he said, and a lot of people didn't like it, but a lot of people loved it. So that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Dang.
Poor Shannon. Through his career took a hit faster than you can say touchdown. Sponsors were pulling out left and right. And there were whispers about his future on TV. It's like 1 minute you're on top of the world and the next you're scrambling to save your reputation. But here's where it gets real. This whole mess with Shannon's got people talking about cancel culture and sports and entertainment. Like, are we too quick to cancel folks these days? Is it fair that one slip-up can tank someone's whole career? Some people are saying it's about time celebrities were held accountable, while others are crying foul, saying we've gone too far. It's like the whole world is divided, and Shannon's caught right in the middle of it all. And you know what's really wild? This isn't even the first time something like this has happened in the sports world. Remember when that other athlete got canceled for their tweets from like a decade ago? Like, nobody's safe. The craziest part is that we still don't know all the details. It's like trying to put together a puzzle with half the pieces are missing, but one thing's for sure. Shannon Sharpe's life got turned upside down faster than you can say touchdown. So here we are watching this drama unfold like it's the latest reality TV show. Will Shannon bounce back? Is his career over for good? And what does this mean for other celebs out there? Girl, I don't know about you, but I'm staying glued to my screen to see how this all plays out, girl, you know?
A lot of times, Cam, I don't even know. I didn't know it was going to go viral. A lot of these clips that go viral. I remember when I did Cam, I remember getting up and I turned back and I look at my Katt, and I look at my producer and he's shaking his head. I'm like, oh man, we done messed up. So I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah.
Did I say something? Did he? He like, this is gonna be the talk of 24.
No way.
I'm like, you think so? He's like, Shannon. And he's looking at me just like I'm looking at you, Cam. He's like, Shannon, this is gonna be viral for the whole year. I said, come on, man. I said, so I'm thinking at that point in time, Steve Harvey is my biggest viewed, is my most viewed podcast. He's at 8 million. I said, you think we're gonna beat Steve? He's like, yeah. I'm hoping for 10 million.
Yeah.
That's all, Cam, if I get 10 million, I'm like, that's a pretty good interview.
Yeah.
Think about how few people that's in this space that interview people that don't get 10 million.
For sure.
So if I get 10 million, That's one of the biggest podcasts. Now, that's not Joe Rogan's numbers, but that's pretty good for an up-and-coming podcast. Right. So I felt good. Man. But here's the thing I tell people, if I'd have had Katt mic'd up from the time he got out of the truck until the time he sat down, it'd have done 100 million. Oh, he was on it. He was on it.
Listen, first off, we're going to get to Katt, but what is it to say about your podcast or your platform if your talent rollout has never really told, because it happened to me all the time, or it happened to me multiple times when somebody said, hey bro, I appreciate if we don't talk about blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And it comes by way of a male or even a female.
Yes.
We're not talking about this from a journalist, from a publicist, or a supporting cast.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Yes.
And if you haven't had that, I got news for your sister. I got news for your brother. You ain't popping the way you think you are.
Right.
Because when you got a rollout of Katt Williams, Cam Newton, Marshawn Lynch,
Monique.
Like everybody, Monique, when you go down the list of Steve Harvey, like these are big deals in the entertainment space. Of course it's gonna come with, I would appreciate it if we're not talking about blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, one thing that I do respect about Katt, he came with a lot of receipts.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as if I'm looking at an iPad to keep me on track. Man, his mental focus throughout the whole thing was so admirable, because I'm like, yo, no, you said this about this person, or that person said that, and
he had studied every Katt. He had studied every interview that I had done, conversation I had, he had studied. Because a lot of things that we didn't mention on the show, he was talking about it but if you notice, he was like, he was doing that, he did this a lot. So his recall, everything that somebody had said, that he had a question, it didn't happen like that. Because I asked Sayed, Katt once accused you of stealing a joke. Said, I didn't steal the joke because the timeline doesn't match up. And I think he said something to the effect, if you look at how his joke ended, how mine ended. Katt came back, he refuted that. I want credibility. I want people to be able to share their story without me interrupting. I think sometimes people in our position that do what you and I do, they want to hear their voice instead of the guest. Well, I can go home and hear myself talk if that's what I wanted to hear. I think for the most part that people tune in to watch my pod because they want to hear what the guests have to say. I let the guests speak. People say, well, you push back on Amanda Seales. And all I said was, Amanda, did you think being a child, correcting a teacher in front of the students, could it have been something else other than racism? That's all. And people lost it. Well, you didn't push back. I asked Monique. Monique said Oprah asked her to interview for a role, to go read for a role. She went and read for the role. Oprah ended up getting the role. I said, Mo, did you ever think they were looking for a heavyset black woman? And it wasn't because the industry was against you.
Right.
She said, my brother, I didn't think about it like that. But see, they don't mention that.
Right.
Because that wouldn't, I've got to try to do something to try to quell this momentum that this wave that Shannon is riding. So any way I can try to undercut him or to make him look like I'm not a journalist. I never told anybody I was a journalist. I said I'm a conversationalist. But what people are upset about is that for some reason people come to me and I don't look at them with judgy eyes. I have no predetermined notion or preconceived notions, and they open up to me.
Right.
That's what they're upset about. Because if you look at a lot of these people that's been on other podcasts, they don't do the views that they do when they come on Club Shay Shay.
Correct.
How were we just talking about Shannon Sharpe's drama? Well, hold on to your wigs because Katt Williams just entered the chat and he's not playing around. The streets are buzzing with the Katt's bold move to back. It's like 1 minute we're all gossiping about Shannon's fall from grace and the next Katt stepping up like a knight in shiny armor. But why, that's what everyone's dying to know. So here's the tea. Katt Williams, yeah, that pint-sized comedian with the big mouth just came out swinging for Shannon Sharpe. He's all like, why I'll need to back off my boy Shannon. It's like watching a real-life plot twist in a juicy TV drama. You might be wondering what's the Katt's angle here. Shilal, that's the million-dollar question. Some folks are saying Katt and Shannon go way back like secret besties or something. Others are whispering that the Katt's just trying to stir up some drama for himself. You know how he loves the spotlight, but let's break it down for a sec. Katt ain't no fool. He knows what he's doing by backing Shannon. He's basically putting his own rep on the line. It's like he's saying, if y'all are coming for Shannon, you got to come through me first. Some ride or die energy right there.
Because that's a testament to you and the environment or the atmosphere that you give.
Yes.
It's very comfortable. People want to render their story
right
in a way where, like you say, you let them talk. But also being into this person that you've become, more equipment or artillery is being shot at you.
Yeah.
Amanda Seals, you being insensitive after wherever, whoever. They even say Club Shay Shay done turned into a messy show. he cooning. He ain't for the people. You see what I'm saying?
I do. And I don't have anything bad to say about Amanda. I thought we had a great time. I'm sorry that once we aired what we aired, I mean, she was there for 3 hours. I'm sorry that she didn't feel like she got an opportunity to say what she wanted to get off her chest. I probably was one of the few that gave her an opportunity to share her story, to say her side. I didn't cut her off when she said what she said about Issa Rae and said some of the other things that she had said. I let her speak but just the one time I was like, and Cam, you and I like, and maybe it's because I'm from the South, but correcting a teacher, even if the teacher was wrong, what?
Man, listen.
I'm like, they do that? They allowed, and so that was my only thing. Other than that, I let her speak freely. I didn't say anything about that. I didn't say anything when she said the guy, like, I said, you're a revolutionary N, and she got reprimanded and she had to apologize. I could have said, well, Amanda, had he said you're a revolutionary B, how would you have felt? See, you can't automatically assume just because you're the same race, everybody responds to that N-word the exact same.
Correct.
So you have to be careful, especially in a professional setting. Right. Now, if we had the cookout, I might call you the N-word. I might call you the N all day. Right. But you have to understand the settings in which you're in and what you can and can't say.
Let me tell you what you didn't know. I caught a stray from that interview.
Did you?
Definitely did. Because the truth of the matter is, Amanda Seals spoke in regards to Issa Rae. I had already shot Issa Rae.
Okay.
The trajectory of that interview of Club Shay Shay made Issa and her team not want to put out our show. So I have not put out of respect.
Oh,
that's what you didn't know. But that's just, I mean, it's a domino effect.
Yes.
Knowing what I know now, I wish your interview would have happened.
Yeah.
And then she would have had an opportunity to speak up. Because I see from Issa's side as well as just, it was image control.
Right.
We don't want to look at
have a go back and
correct, because that interview, when we did Issa's interview, Amanda's interview, I'm not sure when you guys posted it or shot it, it wasn't posted yet.
Right.
So I didn't want to do her a disservice.
Right.
But with that being said, Issa Rae, please, let's run it back. You dig what I'm saying? For all
give it opportunity.
And if this cat's not just throwing out some vague support, he's out here spilling details we didn't even know we needed. He's talking about Shannon's character, his work ethic, all that good stuff. It's like he's painting Shannon as this misunderstood hero or something. But here's where it gets really interesting. Katt Williams ain't exactly Mr. himself, right? He's had his fair share of controversies. So for him to step up and defend Shannon Girl, that's a bold move. It's like the pot calling the kettle. Not black. Some people are saying cats are just doing this for attention. Do you know how it is in Hollywood sometimes? Bad press is good press. But others are giving Katt's props, standing by their friend when everyone else is running for the hills. And let's be real for a sec. This whole thing could backfire on Katt's big time if more dirt comes out on Shannon. Katt might end up with an egg on his face. It's like he's gambling with his own reputation. But maybe that's just Katt. Being a Katt, always living on the edge, the real question is, what's this going to do for Shannon? Will Katt's support be enough to turn the tide? Or is it too little or too late for the internet to split on this one girl? Some folks are already jumping back on Team Shannon, while others are side-eyeing both of them. One thing's for sure, the Katt and Shannon situation is serving up more drama than a telenovela. It's got everyone talking from Twitter to the beauty salon, and you know what? We're all here for it. Popcorn in hand, waiting to see what happens next in this celebrity showdown, girl.
You know, but do you ever go back, or how many times have you watched the Katt Williams interview yourself? Damn.
Maybe. Now I'm trying to think, Cam, I think I don't really like to watch them back because I'm absorbing it as they're speaking. And a lot of times, and I think I went back and I watched like 30 minutes of it, and I just like damn. Cause I went back and I'm like, damn, he said that? Where was I? He was saying so much that I'm like, but Kim, I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that. But if you remember, he said it. He said this is gonna put you in another dimension.
He definitely did.
He said.
But my mama said, boy, there's power in the tongue.
Yes. He said, he told me, and my guy Jordan is over there, he said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said, they're gonna come. And they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get that they're not gonna come now.
Right.
And that's absolutely has happened. That's absolutely has happened. They were so excited. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. And a day later, they can't do it. And then no call. They won't follow, so forth and so on. So I understand what comes along with an interview like that. Did I expect it? No. Did I expect all the negativity that came along? Because, I had Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey did 8 million views, had Coach Prime, I've had a lot of comedians. Right. And some of the comedians had taken shots at other comedians, but nothing like this. I didn't expect the vitriol to come, especially from some of the people, and I'm not gonna say we were friends, but I'm saying we were cordial, we were friendly towards each other. Some people that I've kind of helped behind the scenes, and to see them attack, oh, I wouldn't have let him do this, I wouldn't have said that. But you know what? It took me a long time, Cam. Because when you play sports, you understand that Atlanta fans, even though you're from Atlanta, they're gonna have a little resentment towards you because you beating their team.
Right.
Or certain fan bases are gonna feel a certain type of way. And I felt that the better the player, the more vitriol and hate he's gonna get from opposing fans. I got that. But in this situation, I can honestly say I did not expect the level of vitriol and the suddenness. That's what really got me, the suddenness, because it was like when Cam dropped, it was like
Katt.
I keep calling it. When Katt dropped,
right.
It's like all of a sudden he gay now.
Yeah. But I'll say this though, and I wouldn't say nothing in front of you or in your absence that I wouldn't say in front of your face.
Right. That was the thing though.
But this is my take.
Okay.
That dropped in January.
January 3rd.
Right?
Yeah.
The competitor in me, I said, oh, he wasn't even prepared for that golden ruby. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, it's almost as if Katt chose you.
He did.
You feel me? To have that platform to say, hey, listen, because Katt
he doesn't do it.
Just like you don't do sit downs, you see what I'm saying?
Kim, I've been trying to line Katt up for a year. I tried to line him up for a year. People don't know this, but Katt doesn't like to fly. He normally takes the bus. He takes a tour bus pretty much everywhere he goes. And so he wasn't gonna be on that side of town in LA, in California. Right hand to God. I go to my agent's office on a Friday. I'm getting off the elevator. As I'm getting off the elevator, a lady's getting on.
Right.
She said, hello. I said, hey, how you doing? I'm Shannon Sharpe. She tells me her name. She's like, I've never seen you here before. I said, yeah, my attorney's here, Marvin. She said, oh, I love Marvin. I love Allison, who's his daughter. She said, oh, I said, I've never seen you here. I said, I've been coming here 3-4 years. I've never seen you. She said, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just not meeting you. She said, today is my last day. I said, what? She said, yeah, today is my last day. I said, you got a new job? She said, I'm leaving to be Katt Williams' tour manager.
Wow.
I said, I've been trying to get Katt for a year. That was a Friday. The next Friday, Katt sitting in that chair.
Look at God.
The next Friday, Katt sitting. I've been trying to line Katt up for a year. The next Friday, after meeting her, Katt sitting in the chair. He comes in. I say, anything you want to talk about? I'm here, brother. We gonna talk about it all. Oh, really? Boom. The thing was, if you go back and look at the interview, after I introduce him, we take a sip of the cognac, we laughing and talk, and we do our thing. I'm getting ready to go. He takes off. I got to make a split-second decision, Cam. Do I reel him back in, or do I let him go for 30?
You gotta let him go. Knowing what I know, you know what I'm gonna say.
That's it. I let him go. It was like he was doing a comedy show.
You know when Katt Williams speaks up, everybody's ears perk up. But he ain't the only one with something to say about Shannon Sharpe's mess. The celeb world is buzzing like a beehive. I just got knocked over, so check it while the cat's out here playing defender. Other stars are picking sides faster. Then a playground dodgeball game, some are Team Shannon, some are Team Cancel, and some are just here for the drama. It's like watching a real-time popularity contest, and in Chile, the votes are all over the place now. You think with KTB backing Shannon, other celebs would follow suit, right? It's like they didn't get the memo. We've got folks like that one reality star, the one with the hair, tweeting stuff like Shannon, who never heard of him, talks about cold shoulder, but then you got others jumping on the sympathy train. That singer who's always in the headline. We've all made mistakes. Let's not be too quick to judge. It's like watching a tennis match. My head spinning from all these different takes, and don't even get me started on social media. Twitter's blowing up faster than a microwave burrito, with Shannon trending. The next is cancel culture gone wild. It's like the internet can't make up its mind.
Let me move on. Because I don't know why everybody has wanted me to comment about Shannon Sharpe and his interview with Katt Williams. Shannon Sharpe did not tell a lie. Shannon Sharpe is not a journalist. He's a Hall of Fame football player who's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, arguably the greatest tight end in football, and clearly one of them, who also happens to be an entertainer. He did not tell a lie. But Shannon Sharpe cut himself short. Shannon Sharpe is a voice in our community. He's Unc. He's conscientious. He's thoughtful. I'm telling you, the Shannon Sharpe I've come to know. I've known him for years, but I ain't really know him. I love this brother. I love who he is. I got a hell of a lot of respect for him. And he's kicking ass. Got the #1 podcast on Apple in sports podcast. Got #3 overall podcast for Apple. He's doing his damn thing. And this brother's going to continue to be a star in this business for years to come. Remember, you're talking to the dude who went and got him. I went and got him because I knew what he'd bring. Yes, First Take on ESPN, #1 morning show. Been #1 for 12 years. And on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, when Shannon ain't there, we still winning. We number one. But it ain't like we winning on Monday and Tuesdays. And I love every single contributor on my show. It's very, very few people on the planet Earth that can look at a show and have more than 10, 11, 12 contributors, and every single thing I've asked them to do, they've all come through. Love my brothers, Ryan Clark, Swagoo, Dan Orlovsky, Mad Dog Russo, Bart Scott, Kendrick Perkins, Jay Williams, Chris Canty, let me not forget him, a new addition to the show. Harry Douglas doing a great job for us when he shows up. Kimberly Martin, Monica McNutt, Mina Kimes, and of course, great Molly Karam, the matriarch of the show. Everybody has done an outstanding job. Shannon's been off the charts. Shannon's been off the charts. And I knew how this industry would be. How they would go and try to blackball his ass when he was let go by FS1. And make no mistake, that's what happened. That's his business to tell. But he was pushed out. And I wasn't going to let that happen. I remember when I got pushed out in 2009. I wasn't going to let that happen to this brother. Because he's too gifted, he's too talented. He's too significant to our community. That's why I'm bringing all of this up. It's not about me. This is his day. He's the one that got the Katt Williams interview. He's the one that sat down and talked to him. He did all of that. He's the one that got 34 million plus people looking at this interview, broke the damn internet. It's going to get larger, by the way. I think they're going to reach about 50 million. It's one of, if not, at the end, I believe at the end of it all, it will be, in terms of strictly numbers, the most significant podcast episode in history. It'll eclipse what Joe Rogan once did. It will eclipse what others have done. Because Katt Williams turned it out. Shit, he talked for 30 minutes before Shannon asked the question. He came there to say what he said. And to agree or disagree, that's for all of them to handle. Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Mark Curry, Tiffany Haddish, whoever else he talked about, that's for them. Tyler Perry, that's for them to handle. Because I don't know those facts. I don't cover that. And I've never, ever had a conversation with any of them about Katt Williams or vice versa. Ain't my place. But what I can speak to is Shannon.
Do you want to know what's really wild? Folks are using this whole situation to air out their own dirty laundry. It's like, well, if Shannon's getting canceled, let me tell you about what so-and-so did to me back in 09. The tea is spilling everywhere. And I'm here with my cup ready, but here's the thing, all this back and forth is making people ask some real questions like, are we too quick to cancel folks these days? Or are we not holding celebrities accountable enough? It's got everyone thinking about what it means to be famous in 2023. One wrong move and bam, you're trending for all the wrong reasons. It ain't just about Shannon anymore. This whole mess is shining a light on how we treat Sibs. One minute we're putting them on a pedestal, and the next we're tearing them down. It's like we can't make up our minds if we love him or hate him. Some folks are saying this is all just a distraction from real issues, while others are treating it like it's the most important thing since sliced bread. But one thing's for sure, everybody's got an opinion and nobody's staying quiet about it. So here we are watching this celebrity drama unfold like it's the latest reality show. Will Shannon bounce back? Will Katt support make a difference? Or is this just another day in the wild world of fame? Girl, I don't know about you, but I'm staying glued to my screen. This tea is too hot to miss.
Limiting himself to being just an entertainer. He is not. He's more than that. He's a voice. And when he called himself an entertainer, that took me aback. Because I know he's not. This brother knows football inside and out. He teaches me football every day. Just listen to him talking. Just so you, he knows it backwards and forwards. But he's a conscientious brother who cares about a lot of different issues. And when he speaks on it, he attacks it with fervor and vigor. He is to be respected and appreciated in ways that most people, quite frankly, haven't done enough of. And so my only words to him is that, nah, bro, you a voice. You ain't just an entertainer. You don't ever want to give the impression that, you know what? You can just say what you want because I'm not a journalist. You don't have to be a journalist. All you need to do is be you and be that conscientious observer that you are. Now, there's a lot of people out there that's going to criticize him and they're going to talk about, well, he didn't do follow-up, or he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Stop that, you jealous asses. Stop it. I'm the professional journalist. Would I have done more follow-ups? Probably. That's not the point. The point is, Steve Harvey came on his show and said whatever it is that he said. I never saw that interview. Cedric the Entertainer came on the show and said whatever it was he said. So if Katt Williams wanted to come on the show and say what he said, then I understand where Shannon is coming from. Would I have done things differently? Maybe, because I'm a journalist at heart. I wasn't good enough to be some damn Hall of Famer and the greatest tight end in the history of football. He does his show his way. I do my shows my way. Somebody else does this show their ways. Joe Rogan is different than Bill Simmons, who's different than Shannon, who's different than me, who's different than Podcast P, who's different than Draymond, who's different than a whole bunch of other people. That's the way it goes. But the one thing I was qualified to speak on was Shannon telling the world he's not a journalist. Go watch 60 Minutes. Go watch Dateline. Go watch 48 Hours. Nah, bro, they watching you. They watching you. And because they're watching you, don't ever call yourself just anything, because you're not. Unc is my brother. It's my man. I will never, ever stop being gracious and grateful to him for coming on First Take. I'm sure he had options. It might not have been for the immediate moment in television because, like I said, I thought he was on the verge of being blackballed. And I wasn't about to let that happen. But what he's doing with Club Shay Shay and what he's doing with Nightcap and what he's doing with all these other... No, that's Shannon. That's Shannon. And I'm going to always support that brother, even when I disagree with him. And I'm not saying that's the case here or anything, because I don't know what the truth is, what it isn't. I don't know. But I'm going to always root for that brother. That brother shows up to work. He does his job. He's about winning. And he's about doing what it takes to win. And the success that myself and Molly and the rest of our team has been able to enjoy on First Take, although the success was there before he ever arrived, there is no question he has been an incredible asset since he has arrived. And big things are in his future. And I got news for you, Shannon. It ain't there just because you're an entertainer. It's there because you a hell of a lot more than that, brother. Rising tides lift all boats. Shannon, nor anybody else is going to stop me from getting mine. But I got news for y'all. I ain't going to stop them from getting theirs either. If anything, I'm going to help. And that goes for Shannon. That goes for Ryan Clark on the Pivot. It goes for Swagoo, Marcus Spears. It goes for my man Kendrick Perkins. It goes for all my brothers and sisters that I work with. But I don't ever want to hear any of them limiting themselves to calling themselves an entertainer. You more than that. A hell of a lot more than that. And I'm proud to say that, because you deserve it. This ain't about the interview. That's a different subject for another day with somebody that's more enlightened about the comedic world than me. I'm talking about Shannon Sharpe, the person. And I'm talking about Shannon Sharpe, the figure that he has become in this industry. He's not going anywhere. He's only getting bigger. And it ain't just because he's an entertainer. He's more than that.
Girl, you know this, the Katt. And Shannon drama is shaking things up like a snow globe. But let's talk about the bigger picture here. Mess got people wondering if cancel culture is about to get Canel itself for real. It's like the tables are turning. Faster than a DJ at the club. Think about it, we've got Katt Williams, who's no say himself, stepping up for Shannon Sharpe. It's like watching two unlikely heroes team up in some blockbuster movie. But here's the tea. Could change. Everything we might start seeing more or celebs backing each other up when the internet comes for them, but Chile. If it backfires, the cat could end up in hot water too. It's like playing with fire, and you know how that goes. The question is, are we about to see a revolution in how celebrities handle drama? Or is this just another day in the wild world of fame?